The sun scorched the land, and dust choked the air. For 3 years no rain had fallen on Israel. Crops withered, rivers turned to dust, and the people cried out for relief in the silence of their suffering. One man stood firm, Elijah, the prophet of God. He looked across the barren hills and whispered, "How long will my people chase lies? How long before they remember the Lord their God?" In the palace of King Ahab, idols of gold and stone lined the walls. The king's heart was proud, and his queen Jezebel's anger burned against Elijah. But Elijah entered without fear. "You have led Israel astray," he declared. "You worship Baal instead of the living God." Ahab laughed bitterly. "And what would you have us do, prophet?" Elijah's eyes blazed. "Meet me on Mount Carmel. Bring your prophets. Let the true God answer by fire." The people came from every village to watch. On one side stood 450 prophets of Baal, dressed in crimson robes. On the other stood Elijah, alone, his cloak whipping in the wind. The crowd murmured as he raised his staff and shouted, "Today, you will know who is God." Elijah pointed to the idols. "Choose one bull. Prepare it for sacrifice. Call on your God. I will call on mine. The one who answers by fire, he is God." The prophets of Baal agreed and began chanting, dancing, and shouting to the sky. Hours passed. Nothing happened. Elijah watched silently, his eyes calm. As the sun climbed higher, Elijah called out, "Shout louder. Perhaps your God is asleep or traveling." The prophets cried louder, cutting themselves until blood ran down their arms. Still, there was no voice, no fire, no answer. The crowd began to whisper. Doubt filled the air like smoke. Elijah stepped forward quietly. He rebuilt the broken altar of the Lord with 12 stones, one for each tribe of Israel. Then he dug a trench around it and poured water over the sacrifice until it ran down and filled the trench. The people gasped. Fire cannot burn what is soaked. Elijah simply bowed his head and prayed. Elijah lifted his hands to the heavens and cried, "O Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God, and I am your servant." The wind stilled. The clouds darkened. All creation seemed to hold its breath. Suddenly, the sky tore open. A roaring flame descended like a river of fire. Striking the altar with a thunderous roar, the fire consumed everything, the wood, the stones, even the water in the trench. The ground shook, and the people fell to their knees, crying, "The Lord, He is God." Elijah turned toward the horizon. "The drought is over," he whispered. Black clouds gathered, and the first drops of rain began to fall. After years of dryness, the heavens opened. The land rejoiced. The fire of God had brought back the water of life. And so, on Mount Carmel, truth defeated deception. Elijah proved that one voice, standing with God, is mightier than 1,000 shouting lies. The fire fell that day, but its light still burns in hearts that believe. For those who trust in God's power, no darkness can stand against His flame.